cross-cutting, some specific to the entity. This is the composition of the executive management. Earlier on, Mr. Mashale did indicate that he is the interim CEO. His substantial position in the entity is that of a company secretary. We are made to understand that the board then made a decision up until they filled the position of the CEO to have him act. Chairperson, and then the other members in the executive management, as the detail received from the entity has also been indicated on the slide. If we then move on to the next slide, we speak to the composition of the staff. What the figures that we are showing as against what the entity has submitted is a total of 45, with 27 and females and 18 males, and then there's a racial split for the 2 Africans, no colored, 2 Indians and 1 white.
Yes, please proceed, Honorable Daniels. Please unmute.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chairperson. Let me just show. I'll switch off the video again. It's still morning. Good morning, colleagues. I know you, Chairperson, you said that we mustn't greet, but I know in which context you said it. But good morning to everybody, all protocol observed. Chairperson, I would like to draw everybody's attention to the overview presentation to us as a committee by the National Arts Council. A 20-page presentation, but I'm just scrolling to, I think it's page 16, 15 or 16. Governance engagement, composition of executive management, yes. On this particular item, page 16, composition of executive management, and then it goes over to the composition of staff. I note there that the total staff complement is 45. Then we've got the gender breakdown, 27-18 in favor of the females, which I'm very happy about. We've got African 42, Indian 2, this is out of 45. African 42, Indian 2, white 1, and colored 0. Chairperson, I don't know who to direct this question to. I don't know if it's to the chairperson of the board. If it is so, then I would like the chairperson to answer me. It is a fact that the employment equity law has to be upheld. As much as we have our own views around employment equity, clearly this is in violation of the employment equity law. My question is, if it is to be directed to the chairperson or to the acting CEO. I don't know. I'll take the lead from you guys. Is NAC a law unto themselves? Because evidently so. By looking at the breakdown of the composition of staff, let me repeat the painstakingly stats and facts. Out of a composition of 45 staff members, we've got 42 African, 2 Indian, 1 white, and 0 colored. Chairperson, my question is, and I respectfully ask this question, is the NAC a law unto themselves? Because clearly this is in contravention of the law, and us as lawmakers, as members of parliament, we cannot roll over and play dead and say, no, it's one of those things, sweep it under the carpet or turn a blind eye. This is clearly in contravention of the law, so my question to whoever must answer, are you a law unto yourself? Please explain this mess. Thank you. Before I move over to my next question, Chairperson.
NAC?
Thank you,
Mr.
Chair.
Botha, please feel free to direct the question to the person you feel will be appropriate to respond.
Chair, thank you. I'll respond because this issue was debated vigorously and rigorously at Council. Obviously, the National Arts Council is not a law unto itself. It's a law-abiding entity. The rule of law applies. The fact is, and the information we were given at
Order,
the time...
Chair. Excuse me, Chair. Order, Chair.
Proceed, Honorable Daniels.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, Mr. Botha must also be careful how he responds, because Mr. Botha is saying, Mr. Botha is saying, obviously, Chairperson. Let me state my point first before you rule.
But Honorable Daniels, we are not going to prescribe to the entity how to respond. Let's do it in this way. After the individual respond, then you can have your rebuttal pertaining to what you would like to say now. Let's give.
Agreed, Chairperson.
NAC.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, so I think it's important to note that the NAC is an entity of the state and is required to abide by the laws. The NAC does not have a high staff turnover, and we were advised that there was one coloured person employed in the NAC who left for better opportunity. And since that time, there hasn't been any further appointments to fill that vacancy. It is also important to note that the NAC is in the process or is intent on appointing a permanent CEO and a permanent CFO. And obviously the council's instructions to the panel that does this process is to abide by the law and to ensure that the employment equity laws are complied with. And that's reflected in the adverts for those positions that we posted. So I trust that answers the question, Chair.
Honorable Daniels.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm still going to go back to my point I wanted to raise, because Mr. Botha is saying, obviously, NAC is not a law unto themselves. And from where I'm sitting, on face value, it appears as if they are a law unto themselves, because there's no employment equity has been violated because there's zero representation of coloured in this establishment, staff complement. That's what I wanted to say. So I want to say on the same item, Chairperson, there's now 2 vacancies. And if you, I just want to switch this thing on here, just a second. Thank you. And if you look at the composition of staff, with the stark reality of no coloured representation, and with the 2 vacancies that is out there, clearly, Chairperson, clearly, colleagues, clearly, South Africa, it is important then, it's not by our own doings, by our own makings, that there's zero coloured representation. But on the mere fact, material facts before us, those 2 vacancies that is now needs to be filled, which is the CEO and the CFO positions, There is no ways that those vacancies can be afforded to anybody else who are not colored because of the absence of colored representation in the composition of staff. Because even if we do that, then I'm again going to come with my points asking, is there a law unto themselves?
Order, Chair. Point of order, Chair.
Chairperson, I'm not going to take this nonsense, Chairperson. Chairperson, you know what? In Tuesday's meeting, Chairperson, there was also representation issues that was raised. But because when you are the beneficiary of the nonsense of this employment equity and the marginalization of colored people, then you want to call a point of order. This mess was brought by the African National Congress. No wonder we have the Deputy Minister who says in one of the previous meetings, who says, don't think because you colored you are special. No, Chairperson, I'm not going to allow this nonsense.
Arms when honorable Marlon.
Honorable
member. Let me deal our arms when honorable
Honorable member. No.
I have the right
to play somewhere else.
Honorable Marlon cannot sit here and insult us.
You can't tell me what to say. I can tell you all in your face, man. You hate colored people.
We cannot.
No. I've heard the Deputy Minister say it. I see this coming from these members in this organization. Now I'm saying that there's zero colored representation. Now it's a problem. Go play somewhere else.
What is your point of order?
Chairperson, we cannot be insulted like that.
Insulted? We are insulted as colored people. Who's being insulted here?
Insulted like that, Chairperson.
Who's being insulted here, Malasane? Who's being insulted? We are not being recognized. We are not being given opportunities. And I'm glad Nahawu said unemployment is a very serious thing in South Africa. That's what Nahawu said, and I want to thank the gentleman for that statement. 42 black people out of 45 and zero colors. No.
Chairperson.
Honorable Makatu.
I think just call the honorable to order is not the good way to do things like this, because all of us, we were not there when these things were happening. So we must not be...
On the very same issue, when it comes to representativity, since we start with this portfolio committee, I am giving every member of any political party an opportunity to vent the issues on this matter. And yes, we should give every member that respect to vent on this issue. I am not going to dictate to any member how to address this issue when it comes to representativity. That applies to each and everyone in this committee. Honorable Daniel, you still have time. You want to proceed or you done?
I would like to proceed. Thank you, Chairperson. I want to land on this item. Saying that NAC must be very careful to ensure that we reflect representation of every given race in this country when they fill these vacancies. There's no colored people, and if this matter must be taken to court, we'll take this matter to court. I'll stand down on that point, Chairperson.
May I ask the NAC, in terms of what you are saying, and for the whole committee to submit the equity targets on NAC pertaining to this issue. Honorable Dennis, proceed.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. So I'll stand down on that point. I want to turn our focus to the funding that's been allocated. Please guide me, I may get this wrong. The funding allocated, where 80% of the funding was given to African, 7% to colored, 11% to white, and 2% to Indian. Is my understanding correct that that funding was based on applications submitted? That's my first question, Chairperson. I'm not sure who to address this question to.
Mr. Botha, can you direct the question to the relevant person to respond?
Thank you, Chair. I think this one is going to be best handled maybe by our member Puleng Lasala. Alternatively, the acting CEO can step in.
Thank you very much, Chair, and to honourable members. Yes, Mr. Daniels, you're correct with your observation.
Thank you so much for that clarity. So looking at this, if this is based on applications submitted, and I look at the percentages here, 80% African, 7% colored, 11% white, 2% Indian. My next question to you is this also based on the apportionment of the strength of demographics representing us across provinces in South Africa, or not?
You know, Honorable, it's a very good question, and I would like to maybe just give you a bit of a background and a scenario.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's important that we can engage it from there, because what you are raising is a very, very important point. You know, when applications get to be reviewed, there's a compliance process that we need to go through. And when it comes to administrative compliance, officials take care of that. And panel members are responsible for artistic merits. So applications that have strongly been presented by individuals and organizations, the artistic merit really carries a much bigger reason for them to allocate funds. However, as the office, we ensure that this kind of underserviced communities and priorities of government, like you have said, that it's important that we ensure that funding is spread evenly and it represents almost every race. But you know, Chair and honorable members, it gets very difficult when you look at qualities of applications and you have to award them. It gets very difficult when panel have to reward. And I think it's important that we can take something out of this conversation to ensure that the process is really fair. Panel members take a very serious time to go through application, even during the meeting, to ensure that we support our beneficiaries. However, it becomes very challenging when now you look at applications that are really seriously representing very strong races, but unfortunately they are poorly written. And it has been a problem that NAC has been faced with. And here we're trying to improve our processes to ensure, by just even from an application phase, that the same race that have been a concern that have been raised by Mr. Daniel, to really be taken serious in terms of how we also ensure that the communities that have been mentioned do come and be represented. And I can assure you, honorable members, that we are trying by all means to ensure that it does happen in the next cycles. And this has to also be emphasized to our sector to really mobilize and assist us in those small communities, such as the ones that Mr. Daniel spoke about, to ensure that the next call that we're going to have really represent that massive. But it has been very difficult, honorable members and Chair, to ensure that we really get enough applications to start with from those communities. And it's not only that, even the Khoisans, we have really had trouble to even get even a single one. It has been a big problem, but we need to strengthen our mobilization, Chair, and partnering with really important sector players to ensure that we get that representation well. Mr. Daniels, I really want to...
I think that's fine. Employment Equity Act make it very clear. It's law. And public entities must just comply. Honorable Daniels, please wrap up with your questions.
Thank you, Chairperson. I need to respond to the response I've just received, because there's something very fundamentally said, whether it was said innocently, whether it was said honestly, but I really appreciate the response that was said. You said that to ensure that the process is really fair. Let's pause there for a moment. Your submission stating that we must ensure that the process is really fair. That speaks volumes by itself. In other words, if I paraphrase that, I can then say that, based on your submissions, the processes were never fair.
No, Honorable, it's not that at all.
Why will you ensure that? Why will you ensure that the processes must be fair going forward?
No, what I am saying, Honorable, and I think it's a matter of saying, is it fair? Is it deliberate or not deliberate? the same issues that we are bringing in this platform is the same issues and questions that we are always really confronted with from an office, panel, and council to ensure that there is a fair representation. And as the office, it's our responsibility to ensure that whoever that is going to apply is adhering to compliance that we need to adhere to. I'm not saying at all that this process has not been fair. This process has been fair, and even continuing, it has to continue being fair. But let me tell you what we need to do as the office. We need to ensure that we capacitate the very same communities you've stated to ensure that whatever that we're going to bring forward in, hopefully in the next presentation, when you have to look at our funding distribution, you'll be able to see an improvement in that scarcity that you've identified today. I'm not implying and not even going to even say the NAC has not applied fairness. I mean, I can even say that in our robust...
my time is ticking, Chairperson.
Your time has expired, Honorable.
No, Chairperson, my time has been taken up by
I'm going to give you a second bite.
I've put in my apology to leave, Chairperson, because I've got other obligations to attend to. I was supposed to leave an hour ago.
Okay, can you pose the last question, Honorable Daniels?
I just want to make a recommendation. I'll pose my question. My recommendation will be then, because I see one of the reasons cited why there's 80% Africans and very little for the others is because of poorly written applications. There must be something that the African population is doing right or better than the others. What are we doing about poorly written applications? Are we assisting those people with poorly written applications, which I find difficult to buy into? But we need to do something. We can't use that as an excuse, and we don't empower the people to get them to make better written applications. Then my question then I want to ask is, I see that there's also been mention made of block bursary funding. And I like it when I hear that disadvantaged individuals are being prioritized. Now, who in your view are regarded as disadvantaged? And before you answer, I want to make the statement. After 31 years of democracy, many people are now disadvantaged who were not previously disadvantaged. Others are rightfully advantaged who were previously disadvantaged, while others are still cursed with having been and still are being disadvantaged, such as our colored people. So when you say that disadvantaged individuals are being prioritized, how do you, in your view as NAC, identify or qualify people as being disadvantaged? Because I've not seen with the block bursary funding a breakdown of demographic beneficiaries thereof. Thank you.
NAC?
Thank you, Chair. I think Honourable Daniels has raised some valid points. I think the National Arts Council clearly it has policies, as Puleng, Ms. Lisala pointed out, and I think it's important for the council to have a look at those policies to ensure that that we meet all the targets and that we distribute the funds fairly. That is a core and fundamental responsibility of the National Arts Council. So I want to thank Honourable Daniels for raising this, and we will definitely address this issue at the council at the next council meeting.
Thank you, Honourable Daniels. Honourable Kobani, I see the Deputy Minister's hand. I would want to give a preference. GM.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Also to appreciate the responses provided by the presenters and the department. Chair, ordinarily I would have not spoken, but I hear that every time when there's a heated debate, that I think it should not even take place, that you must find a way of not allowing it to find expression in this meeting, especially a meeting that is very important, a meeting of sports, arts and culture, where we are tasked with a serious responsibility of building social cohesion. So we are tasked with a serious responsibility of bringing cooperation within and across different groups. And we are seen as the leadership in government that should bring all members of society, irrespective of their color, their culture, and creed together. But I see this topic of colors being sidelined and all that coming up now and then. To the member of Patriotic Alliance, I don't know why does he want to become more colored than others. For your information,
Minister, can I call you to order? You started so nicely, Minister, and you addressed this thing so nicely. But let me tell you, this issue will come up at every single meeting, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you why.
No, Chairperson, can I just finish? Just be patient with me.
No,
you see, when they were shouting, I also had my mic. I could have done the same, but if you want to suppress me as well, it will not work. I want to finish. I want to finish. Then you can address me. Can you at least allow me to do that? Can you please allow me to do that? Because also how you conduct your meetings, it is inappropriate. It is wrong. You're not supposed to allow people to raise issues that divide South Africans. You are allowing that as a chairperson. It is not allowed. It is wrong what you are doing. So can you allow me to finish? Can you just allow me to finish? This member keeps on saying that I hate colored people. For his information, I'm colored. That's why I'm saying he thinks that he's more colored than others. I'm colored. I was born a Robinson. But that is the history that I do not want to talk about in public. So I am colored if he doesn't know that. I have never, chairperson, in any meeting tried to undermine or put a statement that says that I hate colored people. So if the member continues to disrespect me like this, I must today say it in this meeting that I am taking an exception of what he's trying to do. And if he wants to pick a fight with me, that is fine. It's okay, chairperson. We can now know that the battle lines between me and him are drawn, because I did try. I even sent the minister to go talk to him about this matter. I've never said because of your color you are better than the other. Chairperson, we need to debate this matter. We are a social cohesion portfolio. We're supposed to bring South Africans together. We have an entity that deals with stats and demographics. I think it is time that they must come to this meeting and tell us, because also we cannot want to talk about colors only in sports, arts and culture. What about other entities? What about other departments? So I want to propose that we call Stats SA to come and give us the report regarding demographics and the participation and beneficiation, general beneficiation of colored people in South Africa. That's what I wanted to say. But this Patriotic Alliance member, I'm now losing my patience with him. He must not stop distorting information and lying about me.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you. Now I'm going to respond to you. In the very first place, this is the meeting of the Sports, Arts and Culture Portfolio Committee. No one else. The executive report to this meeting. I am not going to dictate to any member of any kind how to ask questions. And I can guarantee this meeting that questions of this nature raised by Honorable Daniels, raised in the past by Honorable Molatsani, raised in the past by Honorable Khabo, raised in the past by Honorable Tetwa, will not stop. And I'm not going to stop members, because at the end of the day, public entities, regardless of their size of their staff, are legally required to comply with the Employment Equity Act. And many are not doing so. Many are falling short. So this is not a matter of capacity. It's also not a matter for discussion. It is a matter of will by these entities. So compliance is not optional. And the failure to act, and this is what we are sitting. These committees sit with entities who fail to act when it comes to the employment equity. The failure to act undermines both the credibility of this institution and the constitutional promise of fairness in any workplace. So the members are doing the oversight. I'm not going to stop members.
No, but you cannot forever allow people to raise racial statements in your meeting. It is wrong, Chairperson. Racial statements, you are allowing that. It is wrong. You are dividing society. It cannot be allowed. We've been quiet. We thought you will provide leadership, and we will not allow you to do that. It is wrong.
Professional staff, please mute the deputy minister.
It is wrong. Racial divisions are not allowed. It is wrong.
Jabu, please mute the deputy minister. I see the minister is also in this meeting. Honorable...
the chairperson?
No, Honorable Daniel, I'm not going to give you a chance, please.
No, I just want to say...
I will not allow you to do that. This member of parliament always does that to me. You never say anything.
Deputy Minister, please. Thank you. Honorable Mackenzie.
Thank you, Chair. Let me shut my mic so the members can see to me. Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, I just also want to greet all the honorable members and allow me, Chair, to just say that it's going a bit crazy with the G20. So I'll be in and out of the meeting as I have been assigned other tasks also, Honorable Chair, and I want to apologize to the members. May I please just answer on what I've just witnessed now? Allow me to have just 3 quick points. I think the first point I want to mention, Honorable Chair, is that the Deputy Minister, Peace Mabe, is not a racist. Leader Marlon is wrong by saying that she hates colored people. I work with her. There are colored people that she's hired. So I don't want us to just, it's a very serious allegation to say somebody's a racist. So what I just want to come up and say, she's not racist. I want to say that as the minister. But I also want to say a second point. You know, Honorable Marlon has mentioned he didn't dream up today that to mention the point of no colored people there. There are no colored people unless they can show us the colored people. Now, if the African members that are here want Leader Marlon, the Honorable Marlon, to say nothing, then why did they join the struggle? Why did they struggle? Because they were treated badly by the apartheid Boers. And that's why they took up arms. Now they don't expect colored people to raise their voice. We were part of that struggle. Our people died in the struggle, colored people died. So why are you so offended when we talk about, we've been voted for on a ticket of standing up for colored people, for black people, for Indian people, for white people. We are a non-racial party, but we cannot say nothing when colored people are obviously not part. So I agree with Honorable Marlon, but I just want us to have some more decorum. And I'm not speaking to specific people, I'm speaking to all of us. Because we can have our private meeting where we can fight like this, but we have guests here that must answer questions. So if we can just show a little bit of decorum, I'm talking to everyone. Thank you, Chair, for the way you've handled the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The question has been raised. The member asked a question. The representative of NAC has responded. I don't know why must members respond to one another. Mr. Botha has responded and he gave direction to this matter and said he will look into the entity's policies. And that's all. So I don't know why the debate from everyone. So I'm going to stop this conversation. And like the DM has also said, and maybe we must find another space. But I can tell you it will never stop. Every time it will come up where you will have an entity that does not comply with the equity.
Life of an artist. Sure. bacho xa bespisisa, glorifying drugs as a stage fright cure. You can try this just when you're about to grab your chance of staging. Excitement, you can't think out this industry, or should I say this killer dream, cause you will swear that from the start it was designed to kill artists. Bangakulwela when days are bright, unguthembekile. As a human being on Instagram, too much pressure, unrealistic expectations. Whoever said that she's the perfect ilizulahlekisile is with us, uthembekile. Singiza uthembekile. Remedies within us, ezihwemba sibhebhekile.